Gentlemen, you can wear a $5,000 bespoke Italian suit, a luxury watch, and the finest leather loafers. But if you walk into a room smelling like a teenager's cheap body spray or with wild, unkempt facial hair, that entire illusion of wealth and power shatters in exactly 1 second. This is what I call the invisible outfit, and it is the silent killer of a mature man's elegance. Millions of men over 50 invest heavily in their wardrobes, but completely ignore their grooming and fragrance. They fail to realize that these unseen, visceral details speak much louder than the fabrics on their back. Today, we are putting an end to this sloppiness. We are going to implement the strict, non-negotiable grooming and fragrance laws for the modern gentleman. It is time to upgrade your invisible outfit so that it finally matches the absolute elegance of your physical wardrobe. Rule 1. The Micro-Grooming Mandate: nails, ears, nose. Gentlemen, the foundation of your invisible outfit begins with what I call the Micro-Grooming Mandate. We must address the harsh biological realities of aging. As we cross the threshold of 50, our bodies change. Hair begins to aggressively sprout in undesirable locations, specifically the ears and the nose, while our eyesight might slightly diminish, causing us to miss crucial hygienic details. Let me be brutally honest. True luxury, true wealth, and true elegance do not live in the expensive labels on your clothing. They live in the micro details of your personal presentation. You can be wearing a bespoke masterpiece of Italian tailoring, but if a colleague, a client, or a romantic partner notices a thick tuft of hair protruding from your nostril or resting on your earlobe, your authority instantly evaporates. It silently signals to the world that you are oblivious, disorganized, and lacking in basic self-discipline. It is the ultimate aesthetic tragedy. This mandate is strictly non-negotiable. You must implement a rigid, weekly micro-grooming routine. Sunday evening is the perfect time for this executive ritual. Invest in a high-quality, dedicated ear and nose hair trimmer. Spend the premium on a precise, powerful, and painless device. There should never, under any circumstances, be a single visible hair extending beyond the rim of your nostril. Your ears, both the inner canal and the outer lobes, must be completely devoid of stray hairs. This requires weekly, uncompromising vigilance. If another person is close enough to notice your ear hair, you have already lost their respect. Next, we must aggressively address your hands. Your hands are your primary tools of professional and personal engagement. You use them to shake hands, to gesture during a commanding presentation, to hold a crystal glass, and to touch the people you care about. When a mature man presents hands with jagged, excessively long, or dirty nails, he visually projects chaos and a profound lack of refinement. Your nails must be kept meticulously short, filed perfectly smooth, and absolutely spotless. If you have rough, cracked cuticles from years of hard work, start utilizing a high-quality hand cream. Booking a professional, clear, polish-free male manicure once a month is not an act of vanity. It is an act of supreme executive maintenance. Mastering the micro-grooming mandate is the absolute baseline of being a gentleman. It proves that before you put on the suit, you respect yourself enough to maintain the man underneath it. Rule 2. The facial hair architecture intentionality. Gentlemen, having secured the micro details, we now move to the most prominent feature of your physical presentation, your face. Welcome to rule number 2, the facial hair architecture. The absolute keyword for this mandate is intentionality. The most catastrophic grooming mistake men over 50 make is allowing their facial hair to exist in a state of lazy, ambiguous purgatory. Far too many mature men fall victim to the weekend scruff that somehow stretches into a permanent, patchy shadow. Even worse is the wild, untamed neck beard. When you let your beard grow wildly down your neck and high up onto your cheekbones without any defined borders, you do not look rugged, you look exhausted. You look like a stranded castaway who has completely given up on himself, rather than a commanding CEO in the prime of his life. It instantly ages you and ruins the crisp neckline of your tailored shirts. As a mature gentleman, your facial hair must look highly intentional. It must be a deliberate aesthetic choice, never the byproduct of a disorganized routine. You essentially have two acceptable, high-status paths to choose from. The first path is the meticulously clean shave. This is the traditional standard of global corporate power and classic elegance. A perfectly smooth face projects supreme discipline, openness, and timeless authority. However, it requires daily, uncompromising commitment. A 5 o'clock shadow might be acceptable at a casual dinner, but showing up to a morning engagement looking unkempt signals a profound lack of preparation. The second path is the tailored beard, and this is where true facial architecture comes into play. If you choose to wear a beard, you must treat it like a prized topiary. It must be closely trimmed, meticulously brushed, and perfectly defined. You must aggressively carve out the borders. Your neckline must be shaved precisely, typically about an inch above your Adam's apple, to create a sharp, strong jawline. This instantly slims your face and skillfully hides any softening skin beneath the chin. The cheek lines must also be kept crisp and perfectly symmetrical. Furthermore, as your beard transitions to silver or stark white, it can look incredibly distinguished, but only if properly maintained. Gray hair tends to grow coarse and wiry. You must use a premium beard oil to soften the bristles and give the hair a healthy, refined luster. By imposing strict architecture on your face, you frame your features with undeniable power. You stop looking tired and start looking like a man entirely in charge of his destiny. Rule 3. The scent maturity, retiring the club scents. Gentlemen, we have constructed your visual architecture and eradicated the physical signs of sloppiness. Now we must address the most potent yet entirely invisible element of your presence, your fragrance. Welcome to rule number 3, the scent maturity. The most jarring disconnect a mature man can possibly create is looking like a sophisticated, wealthy gentleman but smelling exactly like a desperate 21-year-old at a neon-lit nightclub. Millions of men over 50 make the catastrophic error of purchasing aggressively sweet, loud, bubblegum-like fragrances. We are talking about the notoriously loud clubbing scents, fragrances that are completely overloaded with synthetic vanilla, heavy tonka bean, and piercingly sweet fruit notes. Let's think of the gold bars and the neon blue bottles sitting at the front of the department store. When a silver-haired man walks into a corporate boardroom or a high-end restaurant smelling like a teenage candy store, it is a visceral aesthetic tragedy. It does not make you smell youthful or energetic as you might falsely believe. Instead, it screams of a desperate midlife crisis. It tells the entire room that you are frantically trying to hold on to a bygone era, rather than confidently owning the immense power, wealth, and wisdom of your current age. You are literally destroying your own gravitas before you even speak a single word. It is time to enforce scent maturity. You must immediately retire the sugary club scents and pivot to fragrance profiles that reflect the grounded, quiet luxury of an old money aesthetic. A mature gentleman's signature scent should never, ever scream for attention. It should whisper of quiet wealth, vast life experience, and unshakable masculine confidence. You must seek out sophisticated elemental ingredients. Embrace dry, aristocratic woods like cedarwood and creamy sandalwood. Explore earthy, green profiles anchored by rich Haitian vetiver or oak moss. These specific notes instantly project a rugged, grounded capability. If you prefer something slightly darker for the evening, look into refined leather, subtle pipe tobacco, or warm, resinous amber. For the warmer summer months, you must abandon the cheap, synthetic, oceanic body sprays. Instead, invest in a classic, high-quality Italian citrus, a sharp neroli, or a sophisticated bergamot. These profiles are timeless, crisp, and inherently elegant. When you transition to a mature, complex fragrance, you finally align your invisible outfit with your tailored physical wardrobe. You leave behind an aura of sophisticated mystery that commands absolute, unspoken respect long after you have left the room. Rule 4. The Discovery Protocol, How to Apply. Gentlemen, we have successfully replaced your teenage body sprays with a mature, sophisticated signature scent. However, acquiring a world-class fragrance is only 50% of the battle. The remaining 50% lies entirely in your execution. Welcome to the final, non-negotiable pillar of your invisible outfit. Rule number 4, the Discovery Protocol. The most offensive, amateurish mistake a man can make with his fragrance is becoming an oversprayer. You know exactly who this man is. He is the guy who steps into a morning elevator and his cologne immediately and violently assaults the nostrils of everyone trapped inside with him. His scent enters the room 3 full seconds before his physical body does, and it lingers aggressively for 20 minutes after he has left. This is what we call the cologne cloud. It is the olfactory equivalent of screaming at the top of your lungs in a quiet library. It projects deep insecurity, a desperate need for external validation, and a complete lack of social awareness. As a mature, refined gentleman, you must operate under one strict, unbreakable maxim. Your fragrance must be discovered, never announced. True luxury is always subtle. It does not force itself upon the world. It waits patiently to be noticed by those who are privileged enough to be allowed into your inner circle. Your scent should strictly exist within your personal bubble, an invisible boundary no larger than an arm's length around your physical body. To master the discovery protocol, you are permitted a maximum of 2 to 3 sprays. Anything more is a sartorial crime. The placement of these sprays is highly strategic. Your first spray goes directly onto your bare chest, right under your collarbone, before you put on your undershirt or dress shirt. By trapping the fragrance under your clothing, it interacts with your natural body heat and your unique chemistry. It slowly and gently radiates through the fabric throughout the entire day. It stops smelling like a commercial product you bought and starts smelling like the natural, elevated essence of the man wearing it. Your second and final spray goes on the back of your neck. This is the secret weapon of the old money aesthetic. When you walk past a colleague in the boardroom or turn your head during a dinner conversation, this placement catches the air. It leaves a fleeting, elegant sillage, a subtle scent trail that momentarily captivates the people around you before immediately vanishing. It forces people to lean in closer to you just to catch another hint of it. By mastering the discovery protocol, you create an aura of quiet power and sophisticated mystery that no expensive watch or tailored suit could ever achieve on its own. Gentlemen, true elegance is a complete, holistic package. You can spend an absolute fortune on a meticulously tailored wardrobe, but your invisible outfit, your grooming, and your fragrance is what commands visceral, unspoken respect. By enforcing the micro-grooming mandate, architecting your facial hair, maturing your scent profile, and mastering the discovery protocol, you elevate yourself from merely well-dressed to undeniably powerful. Look in your bathroom cabinet tonight. Throw away the teenage body sprays, invest in a signature scent, and book a proper appointment with a master barber. Which of these 4 invisible rules are you upgrading first? Let me know in the comments below. If you found value in today's masterclass, hit the subscribe button, stay sharp, stay refined, and I will see you in the next one.